we want to show you some brews because I think you like brews. So why don't you come in here? First, I want to show you
Thank you,
this.
David. It was fun
My
to
pleasure.
see.
I want to show you this.
We have lots of
Little
people tuning in
honey.
live.
This is a Bebe Model, which is a all articulated wooden body brew with a Brujon head. This model came with 3 different types of head. There would be the circle dot, the brevete head, and the Brujon head. Brujon head is probably the rarest of the group, but we'll let Rachel go in and show her beautiful face.
She has a gorgeous face, and the costume is just exceptional.
Isn't that nice? And the silk that this costume is created is from Lyon silk, which was the top of the line silk in the 19th century.
You have such an eye for fabrics and textiles. Do you ever find something and then hold it for years for just the special doll?
Absolutely. Sure. Sometimes it's all about the color, to have the right color for the right piece to repair something or create something.
Yeah, speaking of color, we actually have a blog coming up next month, and it's called Dolls in Blue, and we are featuring this doll in the blog.
Okay.
So
Well, that's
it's fun
a
to see her in person.
And what's interesting about these two, this is a great study group because this is the Jumeau wooden body, which was the Jumeau company's answer to competing with the Bebe Model.
Oh, wow.
So it's beautifully articulated like the Bebe Model also. But the blue thing, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Dolls in Blue, it is really fun, and so we were excited to feature her. One of the things that you guys are famous for in your booths is creating drama and vignettes.
We create drama wherever we are, internationally.
Well, speaking of creating drama, we were hoping that you could give our viewers a tip on how to create some drama in your doll world, as far as putting the dolls together and kind of having a play between the dolls.
Well, I think that the dolls do need to interact, and I do like study groups and contrasts. And I think dolls really have to, like any kind of fine art, they have to be displayed in a proper way. And they also have to be curated. So, I mean, if you have a great doll and it doesn't have, like this weekend we did judging, and really blue ribbons can come down to a pair of shoes or a hat. So Ruby Lane is really a phenomenal resource for the things you need to do to make your dolls be dramatic and all that they can be. And, you know, there's an old saying that fine feathers make a fine bird. So, I mean, there's no excuse if you have a, $8,000 Jumeau in a $20 dress.
Exactly.
And here's these resources that, by the way, when we started in dolls 30 years ago, we had no opportunity to find all the things that collectors do today. So there's no excuse for your doll not to be gorgeous.
We love that. And if you guys are just tuning in live, we have a lot of you. We are live with Michael Canadas of the Carmel Doll Shop, and he is on Ruby Lane, Carmel Doll Shop on Ruby Lane, and they have lots of wonderful accessories and dresses and miniatures listed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, eat your heart out. Here is we've in our career, we've literally had hundreds of brews. And you can't have too many brews, but we've bought and sold hundreds of brews. But in our inventory of them, we've only ever had 2 size 1s and 3 size 2s. So the small brews are very, very rare and desirable.
Look at those eyes.
And this is a size 2. In original costume, original shoes, just a really amazing little honey. And she even has her original unders. And this is actually a brew from the Casimir brew era. So this is a brew doll that the brew family actually handled. where a lot of brews are from the Chevreau era, which they were no longer involved in the company. But she's just a great little piece.
Absolutely
She's
stunning.
not on Ruby Lane right now, but she will. Hey, let's face it. If she doesn't sell at this show, she will be on Ruby Lane, and everybody can look at her there.
Well, Elsie just said, where is your shop?
Where our shop is in Pacific Grove, California, which is on the Monterey Peninsula. We are the Carmel Doll Shop, which Carmel is a town that's 7 miles away, but we moved to Pacific Grove because we had the opportunity to have our own, buy our own building. And we also have a little boutique museum called the Grovian Doll Museum. It's named the Grovian Doll Museum because there is 100+ year rivalry between Carmel and Pacific Grove. So when we moved to Pacific Grove, we had to give the citizens of Pacific Grove something. So the Grovian Doll Museum is theirs.
Okay.
Carmel Doll Shop belongs to the world. Shall we look at something American?
Yes.
Because we're known for French and European dolls, but we also handle a lot of American things, and I do love American dolls. And this is a Louise Campkins, and this is a total American product made by Louise Campkins in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and made in the 20s through the 30s. And this is a really nice piece because this has the Campkins clothes, the original clothes, which people really do want.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit fussy when it comes to cloth dolls because for us, the cloth dolls have to blend with the bisque dolls. So for us, they have to be in a little bit better condition. We do have our country corner where we have really primitive things, but we kind of isolate them because it doesn't look quite right. And we were talking earlier about aesthetics, and that's an aesthetic. So I like the idea that a Campkins could be played with by a Jumeau, and it would look perfectly normal.
Sometimes we find Campkins and they have trousseaus. Did they originally come with
Yes,
trousseaus?
they did. You could buy what we call off-the-rack clothes. So you could go in to her shop, and you could buy the doll, and you could buy the whole wardrobe of clothes.
Okay.
And they really are wonderful clothes for the time frame. Actually, I think they're kind of some of the best as far as quality. Look at that. That's just so
So
Art
sweet.
Deco, in design. It's Art Deco, yet it's got this kind of little old-fashioned ruffle.
Were they tagged?
I don't believe that I've ever seen any tag, but that doesn't mean that they weren't. Children and mothers took tags off of doll clothes.
Catherine Peterson just said, love cloth dolls. We know you love cloth
Well,
dolls.
we
and
love Catherine Peterson. How are you, Catherine?
She said, I'm good.
Oh, good. Okay. And I also want to shout out to Julie Bluis, who's in Paris, France right now, and I think she's watching this. So hello,
Well, we love Julie.
We love Julie.
Yes.
What do you want to look at next now?
Let's see. Well, yesterday we showed a little sneak peek of the fashions, and of course, fashions are always very beloved.
Well, here's a nice little gaggle. So we have a smiling brew with a lovely face, and a really classic Pierre Jumeau, and a little Gautier. But if you look in here, there's a darling little Steiner that is really peeking through. I'm going to grab her out because you really need to see her.
She said, I'm so good. It's so good to see you guys. So that was Catherine Peterson.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
6 yards already.
Okay, so everybody, I just bought 6 yards of
Look at
fringe.
that. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Yeah,
Okay.
and
6 yards? Yeah, because there's still a bunch on there.
Okay,
so,
that's all right. I'm going to take.
thank you. And this is Brian, the chairman of the sales room. Hello, you are live to thousands and thousands of people.
Hello from Montana.
So
We wish you were here.
I
We
just
do.
bought some fringe.
Well, you can never have enough fringe.
So anyways, here is a darling little Steiner, and it's just such a cute little size. I think she's 11 inches, or
Ooh.
maybe I should read the tag.
We should put her
10
on the
and-
Dolls in Blue blog.
Dolls and Blues, 10.5 inches. So it's a wee
Perfect
little
little size.
Steiner. Just a great little. And you know what?
Her
She's
hat is
got.
wonderful.
Thank you. And it should be a little bit like that. And what is also nice is that she has red hair. And there are a lot of collectors that collect dolls with red hair. And guess what? Most of them have red hair themselves. So she's a really sweet
She
sweet
is.
piece. She's a nice size because she's a bebe, but the head, sometimes bebes like children have large heads, so they don't really blend with fashions, but her head is not so overwhelming that she works size-wise as a child for a French fashion.
When you're decorating with dolls, do you have any tips as far as combining cloth with wood, with German, with French?
I think that you can combine anything if things are of an equal quality and that you also approach it that it's playful. Like for instance, our doll club that we're involved in has just turned 25 years old this year, and we're having a big celebration on October 15th and 16th. And I was in charge of the visuals of the book. We're doing a souvenir book of our club. And for instance, one lady brought in a big jumeau, just a jumeau. And when you're going to do a photo shoot, just a jumeau sitting there is kind of boring. But once you start adding some toy blocks, a smaller doll, a puppet, they start to come alive. You don't have to have a lot of things to have a great collection that's interesting. So I think that it wouldn't hurt anyone to take a course that's collecting dolls, to take a course at a city college on, they would call it merchandising.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, in a way, our collection in our home is merchandised. In other words, everything is displayed in a way that we enjoy it and that you know, it's appealing. So I think you can mix anything if you like.
What is a kind of doll that you feel is underappreciated?
Oh, there are a lot of dolls that are underappreciated. I think that right now, like for instance, when we started 30 years ago, German character dolls were so expensive. I wanted them, but I didn't have the money to buy them. And now, that being said, the top echelon of German character dolls are still expensive, and they're more expensive now than they were. But let's say the mid-range to the upper class type of doll, the prices are low on them right now. There's many factors in that. We have a generational change where people are leaving this earth to go on to the next adventure. So there's a lot of material coming on the market. There's certain things that are happening around the world where things have changed that way. But if you like German character dolls, if there's something you like, now is the time to snatch them up. And you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of in collecting, it's emotional. So people follow a herd. For me as a doll collector, I have never followed the herd. When I started, no one wanted French fashion dolls. The first French fashion doll I bought was a wooden-bodied fashion doll, and I paid $3,600 for it, which was a lot of money. It had a wardrobe of clothes. I kept it for a long, long time. I parlayed that into a down payment on a house. Now remember, no one was interested in them. There are a few collectors, but not what there is today. So I think it's a great time to, if you love German character babies, this is a wonderful time to snatch them up because they're beautiful dolls that are available. It's not going to stay that way.
No, it's not.
No.
If a collector had, say they were just beginning and they had $1,000 to spend, what would you recommend that they buy?
Well, I think that if they love, it depends on what you love. Now, if you love babies, you had $1,000, you could probably get 3 really great babies or 2 really great babies. If you love, say, German characters, $1,000, you can buy a nice child doll, a really good child doll. You could also, too, if you like, you know, I hate the term dolly face because I think it's almost derogatory. I prefer to call them girl dolls. Let me show you this girl doll. This is an all-original girl doll. look at those clothes,
The clothes
and the
are
work
wonderful.
in the clothes. The wig. This has got everything going for it. Now I'm going to just give you a price. So here you've got, it's a handwork, but this is $1,250. The dress is a $600 dress,
Right.
and the wig is a $200 wig, and she's still got her original eyelashes. So I happen to like girl dolls very much, so this would be a nice starter type doll for someone starting out.
So if you're just starting out, or if you're just tuning in, we are live here in Billings, Montana with Michael Canadas from the Carmel Doll Shop. He is on Ruby Lane, and they have a store in California. And we are talking about, if you're just getting started, what you should do. And
What you should do is what you love. That's always the
Always
first
the-
thing. Absolutely.
You have to love
Do you
it.
know, like Warren Buffett? You know, the great Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world. I don't know if you know this, but Warren Buffett does not invest in any company that he does not like their product. I didn't know that he owns See's Candy, the famous California company See's Candy, which he does.
and he must love it.
And he loves it.
Right.
So, and that's always the best long-term investment. If you're looking for as any kind of investment, if a quick, like a Weird Doll dealers, you could call us day traders. That we buy a doll, we turn it over for a profit. But the real money in appreciation of a doll collection are the people that keep their doll collections for long periods of time. And like all things, some things you make money in, sometimes you break even, some you lose. It's like all investments. But if you like ladies that make things have a kind of a value, but these are nice dolls to add to a collection.
This is a really fun theater.
That is a guignon. And funny, when these were new, these cost as much as a French bébé.
Wow.
Yes, because in those days it
The
was the
accessory,
size
yeah.
and the size of shipping it, and they really did make thousands of them. They did, because we know that because they're in doll catalog, trend catalogs. They made thousands of them, but thousands of them did not survive. There really aren't that many of them, and this one is really in excellent condition.
Sure is. So the first doll that you ever purchased for yourself was a French fashion.
Well, that was my first big purchase, but my first really good doll, which I still have, and it's still a really good doll. It's a Kessner 129 boy, and that was my first expensive doll, and I paid $2,500 for it, for a child doll. But it's a really exceptional piece, and I have my oldest doll friends from way back when. They're still hounding me to get that. So
Speaking of boy dolls, I have always been curious as to what is in Michael's collection.
well, we have, I think we're kind of known for our French fashion collection, which we have I don't count them, but we have a lot of French fashion dolls. I also have, a lot of people don't know this, but I have a real passion for very early paper dolls.
Oh.
So we have a lot of paper dolls going back to the 18th century and so on. We have, of course, German children and babies. I have one of our employees who also likes babies. I've left him in my will my 800 Bilos.
Oh,
So
no. You have 800 Bilos?
No,
Oh.
but it seems like it. So, and then of course we have French bébés, and I do love early dolls too. This is a really exceptional big French fashion doll.
Tell us about this dress.
Well, it's a wedding dress, an 1880s wedding dress, and it's got, the tulle is a little tender, but it's got all the orange blossoms, and something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So she's got a blue jewelry, and an amazing wig, and it's a great piece. you know, she doesn't necessarily photograph as spectacular as she is.
Well, if you're tuning in, she just absolutely is so stunning. We are here live with the Carmel Doll Shop in Billings, Montana. Michael Kanadas is giving us a wonderful doll talk. Basically, we're getting a whole seminar right here. It is
I want
just
you
really
to see
fabulous.
this one though too. This is a really something special. This is on Ruby Lane, but she may get ignored. But this would be, I would say, a blue ribbon winner because this is a swivel neck
Oh, wow.
wax.
Now that's, you don't usually see them with the swivel
No,
neck.
you do not.
And they're usually as babies or are
Yes.
not in,
That's
does this
true.
have a wood body?
It has a composition body.
Okay.
And it is, we attribute it to Kestner because, believe it or not, Kestner made wax dolls.
Wax dolls. Yeah, that's something. What, did Kestner make anything else that people don't know about? The wax dolls
Well,
is one.
paper maches is something that people really don't realize that they had a prolific, huge amount of paper maches of incredible variety. But, you know, paper mache is a fragile material, so most of them, again, they made thousands of them. They, you know, in 200 years, they just disintegrate.
She is really neat.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, it takes a kind of a collector that can see, you know, the esoteric.
Qualities. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming event that you guys have going on in October?
We've found, David and I are founding members of Carmel Doll and Toy Study Group. And I guess last year it dawned on us that we're going to be, the club will be 25 years old. And we really realized that we couldn't just let that go by. So we're having on October 15th and 16th, it's 2 days. October 15th is sold out, but there's a few tickets for October 16th, and it's at our establishment. And we're having a roundtable discussion, except the attendees will be sitting at the round table. They will not move. The speakers will move. And we have a lineup of really kind of the who's who in the doll world coming to speak. So you'll come in the morning at 10 o'clock. The programs will start right away. Then you'll break for lunch, and then we'll have more programs. And then we're going to have raffle ticket, you know, raffle prizes, a live auction of donations, and this we do to for our fundraising activities. But the real special thing is our club members have all contributed to a journal, and we're really going to have a gorgeous journal, you know, basically like a book that the attendees will receive. And if you get one, you get to see us all when we were young.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful thing, and they can find out about that on your website.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yeah. They could go to
CarmelDollShop.com.
Yes, and then and when you go into that, you go into the library calendar, and then go to October, and you'll see that. But we'd love to have you all show up.
And thank you for everyone that is tuned in live and it continues to leave comments, and we've got a lot of hearts and thumbs up on our video, and for all of your shares. If you guys have any questions, you can call and email Michael and David at the Carmel Doll Shop, especially if you see anything in their video.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel. It was fun.
All right, thank you.